What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Line Show where we're doing our best to be the bridge between our fellow real estate entrepreneurs and investors and the cryptocurrency space where we feel like those are the biggest opportunities over the next few years, and it's not even close. So, welcome along with us on this journey. We're pumped to have you guys. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely. Corey Geary here in the beautiful country of Puerto Rico, just having a blast being on this journey with you guys. Like you had said, Dane, using crypto as that wealth creation tool, and then using real estate down the road to preserve that wealth that we just created. So using that as a wealth preservation tool, and it's just going to be a blast to be in this journey to change our families, your families, and the trajectory of our lives. And man, it's been just crazy fun with, these meme coins pumping all kinds. I mean, I looked at the charts this morning and literally everything was in green. Everything except
nice
for the blue chips. Except for the blue chips. I went on Deck Screener. I mean, everything was green. Anything that, I talk about meme coins that launched, that have no name, that launched a day ago or 2 days ago that we don't know. Like, everything was green. And I was like, man, there is a lot of degening going around right now on Pulsechain, which I'm for it. God bless their hearts. They're bringing activity. They're bringing exposure. These guys are just in there crushing it. Now, it don't interest me too much because the one problem with the meme coins, and I know pDai, the liquidity it's starting to thicken more than some of these newer meme coins that you get into, like there was one called Down. There's another one called Bullion. Another one called there's a security one. Security. But there's like no liquidity. So like even like I was just playing around. I didn't buy any of these this morning, but I was playing around with it. Like even like a $50 buy would move some of these like 10% on slippage. It's like it's just not attractive to me. And I could be wrong. Maybe you place a bunch of those bets out there and some of them moonshot and you wait for the liquidity to thicken before you take profits. And that's really what I want B Roots on here. And we're still working on getting them back on because how do you play that game when in the first inception of a lot of these meme coins, it's absolutely no liquidity. It's some of it's horrible.
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy to see it, man. I mean, there's a lot of people making some small gains over there, even if there is no liquidity.
It's interesting to see. Yeah, let me let me go ahead and share my screen. I mean, these freaking guys, I'd be all right getting a little Atropa and pDai, but man, every time I'm like, okay, the price chart's gonna finally correct. it just keeps freaking running. It is wild. All right, let's share this. All right, so here is what is this? This is pDai. And man, I thought we'd see more downside from this yesterday. So this is a daily chart. I thought we'd see it come down, closer to this range in here, but the thing just keeps running. And apparently, I believe the way that this one works is Thursdays are the days when the bots kick in and buy the price back up. So people are probably front running the Thursday event in hopes that they get the bots that push the price higher. So
you never know.
That's
you never know. Want me to tell you a little story? You see where the last real massive down
right here.
No. After that, before it took there and there, okay. Right there. I almost bought there. I almost bought there, dude, and freaking, I thought of myself out thinking, oh, this is dead now. It's just a meme coin. And I was only gonna put like $100. It wasn't like It wasn't like it'd be massive or anything, but I almost freaking bought there. I should have listened to my intuition and I should have done it. But
it's like a 7x, yeah.
So I'd have $700.
Right.
That's not a bad day at the office right there. When you give $100 and make $700. I mean,
not bad at all.
So, well, it is what it is. I'm starting to like we had talked about Dane before. Starting to learn some of this how to listen to some of this intuition that we're starting to get, because with the time in the market and the exposures and the additional experience that we're gathering through all this, you're going to start getting where you could start pinpointing good buys and good sells. Some of our closest friends have really got this mastered. And so I feel like, just tapping into your experience a little bit, understanding what's going on. And yeah, but I had the intuition there to buy, and I was like, and I didn't do it because I put myself out. I talked myself out of it. And what would I cared about $100? I should have just like thrown it in there. It was a slot machine and seeing what it did.
Yeah, I'm with you. Another one that's been fun to watch. Am I in the right chart? The Axis token has been ripping. This has been one that if you're part of Axis's group, you get a little bit of an allocation, and I mean, clear up to this freaking wick. What is that? That's like I mean, we can measure it.
Are you on the right chart? Maybe you need Axis.
Maybe I'm on the wrong one.
Maybe you need it measured against DAI, or because there has been like literally no pullbacks on that chart.
It's just been straight freaking up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you're part of this group,
it's the one that's been around a month, right?
It probably, should be it.
That's V2 against.
It should be it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. I'm pretty sure. I mean, this freaking thing, it's wild. What is that? That's is that a 15x? 1,000.
Yeah,
500%.
He said for people who got in on basically day one, it's on a 300x.
It's wild. Yeah, if you go from back here.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's wild. Now this one truly has no liquidity. I mean, there's 20K, so yeah, there's no liquidity on this one, which is fair. Fair criticism. But some of these others, I mean, like pDai, I mean, you got over.
They're building up. Yeah.
Atropa, you've got, $250,000.
Problem is they start building all this liquidity up after they've done their massive run up, and it's like you don't want to buy the big green dildo.
No,
you know what I mean? It's like now the liquidity is starting to be there, and you're like, ah. But I guess if you would have took the gamble in the early days when there was no liquidity, this is your reward that you get, right? You took the risk with no liquidity, and if you held to now where there is some liquidity, that's the reward that you get paid for taking that risk.
Right.
So so some of these will grow. When you're doing your $50 buys and you're moving the price 10%, right now there's no liquidity and you're buying, the absolute low. But when it runs like this, and then now there's $250,000, $1 million, anywhere in between that, you now can cash out and you've got yourself a 50x or a 20x or whatever it may be. Maybe it's 100x, and you can cash it out. I mean, but the meme coin or the narrative has to catch on in whatever, asset you're in. And so that's the gamble you take, man.
Right.
It's it's fun. I'm happy. I was very happy to see that this morning because overall it's good for the health of the ecosystem. A lot of these guys, man, I believe there will be a time that comes that a lot of these guys who've made money in these these meme coins, we're going to see a lot of that money go back into Pulse, or maybe go back into Hex, or go back in maybe even Pulse X. Who knows? But I definitely believe that a lot of it will go back into Pulse, and so we'll see.
Agreed. And kind of like you're saying, it's interesting. Like in the last 24 hours, I mean, there's a lot of green on these charts, which is cool. And a lot of them are the memes like Rat Bitcoin, you got pShib, 17 and 33%. I mean, what are some other big gainers? Let's see. 30% internet money, man. I'm telling you, that one has been an interesting one to watch. It just keeps going.
Yeah.
It's had some of the strongest runs in all of Pulsechain since.
Look at that pullback, though. It ran really hard, and then
look at that huge pullback.
Wow! It freaking shot up. God, who bought the top of that?
That's called your money is gone wick. Yes, that is accurate.
I love it. That's exactly what that wick is right there.
Yep.
You bought the top
I mean,
of
look at
that.
that one.
That is your money is gone wick.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep. It's wild out there, but it's cool. It's nice to see some of the volatility on some of these charts. Like it's showing interest. I think it's really, really freaking cool. I'm excited about this.
It's bringing new people over. I'll tell you that. I firmly believe that people are seeing the degen going on over here, the casino, people making some money, bragging about it on Twitter. We see it everywhere. People are noticing, man. Other communities are noticing, and who doesn't want money? Like that's what they're seeing. They're seeing money going out, right? And so, yeah, it's good. And you couple this, Dane, with the blue chip protocols that are launching, stuff like Power City, Liquid Loans, Fame, Mintra, these things that that have a good use case on the chain, that are tools. Some of these are really good tools that sophisticated investors use, like Fame, Fiat, Liquid Loans. This is a very sophisticated, almost TradFi type tool. And it's really cool because that will bring a different type of money into the ecosystem. Right now, your meme coin guys, your degens, it'd be interesting to know the number. Like if I were to take all the people who love playing the meme coin game. Now it's, I get it. You got people like B Roots and Mando who have very high net worth. But like for the rest of them, like the average audience of the meme coin and they're playing the game, it'd be interesting to know the statistic of like their net worth, or what do they bring to the table versus somebody who's going to come in and use a Fiat and a Fame and a Liquid Loans, who is enjoying these type of tool sets. I bet it'd be substantial, a very substantial number, because if these are more sophisticated instruments that people use, and bigger money tends to like to use these type of tools for hedging against different risk. And we know that because Buck actually built Fame and Fiat because he wanted those financial instruments for himself on Pulsechain. And there was nobody building them at the time. You only had like Liquid Loans, which is not the same. It's a financial instrument, but it's not the same. And we know Buck has very large bags. He's a very high net worth individual. And so these are you couple this with the meme games, with the degen. Now you got some sophistication coming to the chain. Very, very optimistic with DeFi fall coming upon us.
I'm telling you, we're headed there. It's exciting. Like you said, we'll have some of the more like blue chip type of stuff. I mean, the only things that's really ran are largely memes so far, which is fine. We need that part of it.
Yeah, we need that. Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. What else would be happening? Think about it. That was not going on right now. Like there would be no new exposure happening to the ecosystem whatsoever. People are not coming into Pulsechain right now to buy and stake hex.
No, they are not.
The maxis are telling you guys that's what all we're good for. They are, man, those guys are, those are the ones getting you wrecked.
Agreed.
Those guys, they want to get everyone wrecked by not bringing adoption over to the chain. So be careful who you listen to, guys. Really careful. We need all this. We need all the memes. We need all the new sophisticated protocols coming. We need the degens. We need the casinos. We have PulsePot launching next month. That's an actual casino, a real life casino where you can go do roulette, blackjack, you go sports bet. Man, it's going to be exciting. So I'm excited for it, man. I really am.
Yeah, I'm with you. Some of these comments are great. What's up, Frank? Frank's on. SMO Spider. You might be new. That's great. Welcome if you are. I don't think we've seen you before. Axis and Fire also going a bit nuts. Yeah. Let's see. Got into Axis.
Well, good for you, man.
Yeah, nice. I like it.
There are a lot of slippage when you bought. Like,
good for you. I think that's great.
Especially a week ago.
I never thought I'd own a meme coin. Look at me now. That's awesome.
I know.
Good for you. Yeah, go DGens. Hey, we're here for it. I think it's you guys that want to play the games, I think it's cool. Good for you guys.
Yeah, there's not much else going on, man. What are you
No.
gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Like it's now you can go out and build businesses and earn new money from the real world. That's a good idea. But you can do both of these things, right? You can go build a business in the real world, maybe a side hustle, earn more money, play the meme coins, try to use that money to build your bags up, and you couple that together, and maybe you have yourself a pretty, maybe you double, triple, 5x your bag size by the bull run. I mean, opportunity is here, staring us in the face, guys. There's
Right.
no two ways about it.
Right. Paul, I think we'll see Buck in a Lambo before Fame launches.
Now that's your other boy.
Little jab at yep.
That's your other boy.
Keep forgetting that we sell products that we sack for that have not launched yet. Yeah, the never-ending bear market. I'm telling you, and I think like my eyes have been opened a lot. We had in one of the chats that we're in, I was talking with one of the dudes on one of the teams that hasn't launched. That that the sacrifice was pretty substantial, and I was frankly I was being pretty critical. I was like, what's going on? Like, give us something, right? Like, tell us what's going on. And frankly, I think it's fine to if there's been setbacks, I think it's fine to say that. But the whole say nothing is in my opinion not a great approach. And it was great. Like I mean, he didn't give me all the specifics that I really would have liked, but there was a lot of perspective that he'd shared. And once again, we've talked about it a bunch here, but a lot of these protocols they need the Oracle, the Fetch Oracle, to be able to be live in order for their protocols to launch. And it sounds like it should be live this month, which is exciting. So
I hope so. I plan on running a reporter or a few reporters, depending on how much coins you need to do so. But I plan on coupling that with my validators. And the rumor is it's not in writing yet, but he's already talking about it on YouTube, so I can say it. But the rumor is that liquid loan sacrificers may or may not get some fetch tokens. Yeah, which for me and you, Dane, since we did the stupid mistake of locking them up for 2 years, maybe that'll help. I'm sure it won't make us whole, not even close, but it will at least it will burden the pain a little bit.
Right.
Oh God, if I could go back.
Well, live and you learn. Dang it.
The pleb mistakes I was making.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, really excited for Fame. So if you guys aren't aware, in fact, I need to create the show. I'll create it later today. But we have Dylan coming on, who's very familiar with the PH stuff, and he's going to come on. He's going to talk to us about Fame tomorrow, which will be a lot of fun, and it's going to be cool. So kind of like a 2-phase launch type of thing, where the tokens will be able to be released, and you'll be able to mint those if you sacrifice for Fame. Sounds like Saturday we'll be able to get those, is what I'm guessing. There's a Spaces that Buck is putting on, and that'll be a lot of fun. So we should get our tokens theoretically this weekend, and then potentially next week have Fame launch. A lot of this stuff, I'm telling you guys, I think a lot of this stuff is ready to rock. I think it's just a matter of feeling out the market and getting timing, to a place where you're feeling confident to launch as a founder. And to Kai's point, yeah, there's a lot of people anticipating the middle of this month. I mean, just a few days away, that we'll see another big dip, which we may. And if we were, once again, we've said it multiple times, if I was a founder of a cryptocurrency project, frankly, I'd probably wait till next month to launch, just because of the sentiment. I don't think there's a lot of harm.
Rosh Hashanah Jubilee, Randy Halarski talks about it a lot. It excites me though that we're the end of this, because I started following Randy right in the beginning of his Shemitah series on YouTube, and it was and I remember when we were going through that, and that was obviously that was the bear market, and then going into Jubilee, and so I'm excited that we've reached the end of that. And man, I just tell you what, man, there's something about going into the fourth quarter of the year that really brings life back in all markets, not just so much, even crypto, but even in business, I've noticed that you have better. The fourth quarter is usually your strongest, or it's definitely better than your third quarter. I don't know. It's something about being, people are back from summer. They're ready to work. People are, the holidays are coming. They're in better spirits. There's just something about the fourth quarter that's always nice. I love it because the weather starts changing. Of course, that's when I was in Arizona. You get in October and it's like you get a bit of relief, especially at night. You start to feel the cooler air at night, and so that's why I love going into October, because now you have a good 6-7 month runway of good weather coming into Arizona. Because the summers suck out there, bro. They're brutal. They just suck, and people get depressed because of the heat. They don't want to do anything. And we were in the real estate business. People don't want to flip houses in the summer. Like they don't want. So it was brutal, bro. And so like October was always it still is my favorite time of year, man. You can go out and buy pumpkin spice lattes. You can. The sentiment changes, guys.
Absolutely. No, I'm excited. And we saw it. I mean, we saw it consistently when we were doing real estate. In fact, I'm sure, was your business this way? I feel like we go to Q4 and all of a sudden it just be like this big juicy quarter. And and the previous one in the summer, I'm like, why are there no deals? And then Q4 is like all of a sudden the deals were plentiful.
Always, man. And usually December, like for some reason, there was multiple Decembers. Those are my strongest months out of the year, which is wild. And you would think like, what people are buying stuff for Christmas, why would they spend money on other business stuff? Maybe like flipping a house or buying cryptocurrency. But it's weird. They go together for some reason. I feel like people get in the mood for spending money. I don't know what it is, and they get happy. That's what the holiday season comes and people get happy, and that might be why. I don't know. Just speculating. Who knows, man? But I love it, man. It's my favorite time of year.
Yeah. I'm with you. Where was
Kaiser locked his loan tokens up as well. Pleb move by our part on that. What bothers me the most, Kaiser, is that it's 2 years from the time of their launch. So if it would have been 2 years from like the time of the SAC, I'd have been like going right into it would have been right at the bull market when I get our tokens. That could have been a great thing, right? But now we're waiting 2 years, like
gonna be selling in the bear.
If we get a left translated cycle, especially, you're gonna be selling the bear. It was interesting, man. One of our
that actually might work out okay if you get the early cycle, because you could get the top next year.
So we'll have to wait for 2 cycles then.
And then you could have the top next year, and then you could have, kind of like Sami's talked about a little bit. And then you have 2025 that's down, and then you have another pump in 2026. I mean, that might work out, but I'm not holding my breath.
We got one good friend, Dane. I'll tell you his name after the show. I don't want to tell you who he is and dox him, but he lives here in Puerto Rico. He seems to think that we're all wrong and that the top won't happen until 2027.
Till 27.
That's what he thinks.
That's interesting. Does he have any additional context around that? Why he thinks that?
No, we didn't dive deep. It was on Twitter when I saw, and then we kind of commented on it, but I didn't go. I'm gonna give him a call. I had lunch with him a month and a half ago, but he went with Funding Jim out to the what do you call it? That was going Nomad Capitalist event that was going on. So he's out there doing that. He'll be back here in PR in a couple weeks, and I want to have a lunch with him again and see where his thought processes are on that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, that's the thing, is everybody's expecting a run next year with the Bitcoin halving. I've been thinking about it, man. I'm like, what if we're all freaking wrong?
Everybody could be wrong.
Yeah, everyone could.
Man, you can talk about a fake out, and that would nobody would expect. He said between 26 and 27 was his comment on Twitter that I noticed, and I was like, 26 and 27. I'm like, wow, bro, that's way off the mark. But who knows?
That is way out there. Yeah.
Oh man, does that mean? But here's my problem. Does that mean we're gonna be in the bear market for another 2 years? Oh God, I tell you, this year, there was 2022 and 2023. Now, everyone, I guess 22 was supposed to be the where all the worst happened, right? But no, not in our ecosystem. The worst happened in 23. Even though the rest of crypto experienced it in 22, that's when they got really beat up. We got our ass handed to us in 23. And it's probably because we waited into the 23 to launch, and so we didn't experience all that pain, and then we had to get the pain because we're still launching the bear market. But like 23, man, this year is just felt just so brutal. Like 22 was nothing for me. I was like, Hex dropped down to 1.7 cents in November. That's actually when we started streaming, Dane. Mm-hmm. And I bought that bottom. I was very happy about that. But as far as like the pain, I didn't really feel it. Remember, Hex stayed in that 3 cent range in 22 for like 6 months. It was just like a stable coin in the 3 cent range. There was a market maker there, which is great. And it was just hanging out there, man. And I felt like 22, the Hex community didn't really get much pain, in my opinion. Yeah, we came down from 12 cents, or we came down from the 40 cent top. But that part was to be expected. But I think it's orders of magnitude different what we're experiencing now versus what we went through in 22. But that's just me, myself, right? That's me, because the way I built my bags, I guess, too. It depends on when you DCA'd, when you put money in, and there's a lot of factors. So
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, Corey, why do you live in Arizona if you hate the heat?
My family's there, man. I have my dad, my brother, and I'm not going to ask my dad to leave. He's like 78 years old. My mom was there. My mom passed a couple of years ago, but like family's there. That's why. Friends, I got friends there. I've got a lot of friends there. It's just I own my property there. That's basically almost paid off, and it was a really good deal. I bought that property at the bottom of the last recession. So nice. I'm not giving that thing up. I mean, I could sell it, and I'm not selling it. I need to have a house there. I like Arizona. I like everything about Arizona except for the heat. I know that sounds stupid because that's what Arizona is like known for, but like so you have like 6 to 8 months out of every year that it's absolutely gorgeous there, and it's great to be in Arizona. Like, and you have that time period. But here in Puerto Rico, man, now I have a little I can fluctuate back and forth, And when it's summer here in Puerto Rico, it's not that bad. Today it's 88 in Puerto Rico.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's not bad. The breeze is going. It has a little humidity. So if you don't like the humidity, this could bother you. But like, man, it's great. So like maybe the way I'll flip and flop back and forth, it'll be really nice. I can avoid some of that heat out there, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, be nice. Red Squirrel played his loan correctly. That was.
And bro, why didn't you call me, man? Like I thought we were buddies. I thought we were buddies, Red Squirrel. You should have warned me that I was being a pleb.
Right. Yeah, PR is a lot like Florida, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah, Arizona's great in a lot of respects. I agree.
Who is that? Is that Chris Bizup? It must be Chris Bizup because he's the only guy in Arizona that would be on Facebook watching us. Arizona, bro, it's okay because I got homies like you out there.
That's right.
I got my homies out there, and I got family out there. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, we can look at the Benner cycle chart. That's in fact, I think that's an interesting one.
Let's look at that, dude. Yeah.
Let me pull that up right here. Okay. All right. It's a little small. Let me see if I can zoom in.
That's funny. Did you have it pulled up already? Were you looking at it? You got
yeah. I saw it in the comments and I was like, I'll pull it up.
I was like, man, you got that right up.
I'm prepared. Is that better? Let's see if you guys can. That's a little bit.
If you can bring it up a little bit more. Let me enlarge my screen too. That way I can see it. Okay, I can see it now. And so, yeah, it's showing 2026 there on that top.
Right. So it's claiming, and this is an interesting one. This one makes its way through Twitter pretty consistently. I think that, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I just, am having a really hard time seeing the economy carry past next year. Like I could be wrong, but
And those guys know how to artificially inflate this shit
that's
to
true.
oblivion, bro. If they want to, right? If they want to, and they could push it all the way to 26, and that's the top, and then that's when the recession happens, a deep recession. I mean, it's a speculation, but they have the tools and instruments, man, that they didn't have like in the 20s and 30s and 40s. Like they didn't have the money printing machine. We were tied to gold and they couldn't inflate the dollar.
Right.
Man, now they could print themselves out of anything and do what they want. And so it's hard to say, man. The more, and then you got to look at this too, the more and more people start talking about a left translated cycle and the economy rolling over early, the more that it becomes unlikely too.
Sure. I don't think a lot of people are talking about that though.
It's starting. I'm seeing it. I'm starting to see, maybe because I'm noticing, or maybe because of people I follow.
Sure.
Because I follow that, right? And so, like, I'm starting to see it. I just, and of course, Sami talks about it in every single YouTube. And Sami, every Hezekiah watches Sami.
Yeah. He's like a yield curve inversion that, in fact, I'll have to go and do some more research, but I don't think, like once that inverts, I don't think, yeah, I mean, you usually don't have really long, we're talking about 2026. That's like, we're freaking multiple years away from that. They could keep the economy propped up. I mean, they could. You could have, COVID 2.0 type of thing, and
that would do it.
And that would do it. That would be
that'd be
great for our crypto bags. Not for our freedoms, but for our crypto bags.
It would right, be horrible for our freedoms, but our bags would like it. It's like, would you be in jail for 2 years, sir, for $10 million? You're like, 2 years? But I get to be with my family, right? I get to have my family while I'm in jail?
Right.
Okay, 10 million? I'm gonna stay on this tropical island then and be in jail here with my family and then collect my 10 million and then we'll be good to go.
Not the worst proposition I've ever heard, right? Right.
Oh, it's so funny because it's true.
Right.
That's exactly how it went down last time. God. Yeah. I wish I was a little smarter back then too. I was a pleb. I was doing real estate. I was doing well in real estate at least. The money printing from the last pandemic it actually helped out a lot in my real estate business. I feel like there was a reason why we were able to scale our business up so much. We had a lot of buyers. It was because of that.
Yeah. Ivan on Tech says this morning that without Richard's active participation in the community, he's not sure of the success of Pulsechain. Yeah, what's your take on that, Corey?
I mean, he just says he's unsure about it. I mean, we're all saying that. I'll tell you this, Fertile. It definitely hurts the price. We wouldn't be where we're at right now if Richard Hart was streaming. That I solely believe that, but it doesn't mean that we're not at a bottom. I don't know. Right? It doesn't mean that the Pulsechain has no future. It does not mean that at all. What happens, if Richard Hart does win or get kind of, a settlement or a dismissal on the stupid SEC and he starts streaming again? Can you imagine? I know we've mentioned this before, being this deep in pricing, an event like that happening, and people, were screaming 1,000x, 10,000x before launch. Well, if they're still around, and if they were buying down here, they'd have to be buying down here. Now, it's not like from SAC price, but man, buying down here, and an event like that were to take place, there's where you get your 1,000x. When you invest, you're taking on risk. Always. You're always taking on risk. So right now, when you're buying into the Richard Hart ecosystem, you're taking on risk that we don't know the outcome of the SEC, scenario. But the reward that goes along with that risk, in my opinion, is freaking substantially greater than what the pending doom can be, I guess, or the downside, especially from here. Can we drop lower? Yeah, of course. And we could go another 50%. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we're somewhere in the bottom or near the bottom at the very least. But even me, I've slowed down my DCA. And me and Dane talked about this on our show yesterday, and we're being a little bit more strategic. Where like if we could see, and B Roots talked about this too on Twitter. I saw him mention it, that if we could have a higher low, or Frank told me about this. If we could have a higher low on the chart, it would confirm bottom. So you come in, and then you get that higher low, and then you've reached bottom, which fine, you missed the bottom, but I don't care. Like I don't need, my bags are so packed, like missing a 20% move is not going to kill me at the end of the day. Like it's better than buying the falling knife all day long. But it's the risk versus reward that you got to ask yourself. Yeah, if without Richard's participation, the community is broken up. You've seen it. People are fighting. People are capitulating. We had one guy on Twitter, I'm not going to mention any names. He was, calling Richard Hart out, calling him, hey, you're a coward because you're not streaming. You called Satoshi out, blah, blah, blah. I put my life savings in this. It's gone. And you're going to see this, and that is because Richard Hart isn't streaming. So we're already there. So like, we're going to go there. In my opinion, we're already there. We're already experiencing the pain from that not happening. It's not that it's going to be any worse. Could it get worse? Sure. Especially but I see it only getting worse, in my opinion, on a couple of different ways. Obviously, a DOJ case could make things much worse. And then, like if the SEC thing escalates where he's never allowed to talk about crypto again, or I don't think he would sign anything like that. So to me, the only really worst case scenario I can see is like a DOJ type case. So at this point, you got three options too. So you're probably invested like us. And here's how I break it down in my head to keep things very simple. It's like, here's your three options. You can sell and leave, right? And that's a legitimate option. Like you really, I don't, it's not what I'm doing, but I'm not I understand why people do it. Like right now I can see why they're doing this. You can sell and leave. That's an option. Second option is you could stop deploying new capital and just keep your bags where they're at right now and just hold. And then new capital, maybe you diversify in other protocols, or maybe you diversify even completely out of crypto. You can go, put it in stocks or put it in real estate. We love real estate for diversification in the real world. So you could do that with new money coming in, but you hold your bags that you had built up to this point. Yeah, you're down substantially, but you're just holding just in case, it does something amazing. Third option is you continue the path that we were all probably been doing, which is DCAing in, holding, DCAing more. So those are really, when you really boil it down, now there's things in between there you can do. Like I said, that you could diversify if you're holding on the second option. You could just not put more money at all into crypto. So, but it boils down to it. You only have those kind of three options, and you got to sit down and think to yourself, okay, what do I want to do here? Risk versus reward, probabilities. Ivan on Tech has no idea. I guarantee he has no clue. He's got bags that he wants to see work out. Maybe he is pushing the sell button now because of his confidence in the ecosystem. I have no clue, right? We just don't know. But at the end of the day, nobody knows. Nobody. I don't care what anyone tells you on Twitter or YouTube. no one knows what this outcome is going to, what it's going to do. But that's the part of the risk versus the reward that you got to weigh out for yourself. Now, obviously, if you put money in that was too painful, where you can't put food on the table for your family or something like that, or you can't pay the mortgage, then you're probably going to have to push the sell button in that type of a scenario. I feel like there's a lot of people who are in that scenario right now. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate. They don't have other money coming in, or they don't, they over leverage. Maybe they put their house money in, which is absolutely, that's all they have in their life, right? I feel for those people, and so yeah. So those are the tough decisions that you're going to have to make. But for me, the upside from here is tremendously outweighs the downside. With man, you wanted that 1000x. Well, here's how you get it. You have to earn your way to it. It's not 1000x's aren't free. I mean, they were in the last bull market, maybe. I don't know, but like my dad used to always say, nothing in life is easy. Nothing in life worthwhile. Nothing in life worthwhile is easy. He used to tell me that all the time when I was a kid. Like he pounded it into my head. And this is part of that. It really is. So you have to come to that determination. I still have all the faith and belief in the ecosystem. I'm definitely not pushing the sell button, but I'm definitely not DCAing right now either. I've kind of put the brakes on that. I would like to see a double bottom or a higher low. But I got dry powder still. I have a little bit of dry powder. Me and Dane are still doing business. We're making money that will be coming in, and that will continue to keep coming in. And so we're not hurting in the sense that we can't feed our families and can't pay the mortgage, or can't, do the things I like. I can do the things I like. I can go out to eat. I can go and travel. I can go. So everyone has a different financial situation. That's the problem. Everyone has got a different situation in their life, and their finances look totally different. And so only you can ask yourself what you should and shouldn't do from this point on. I mean, I know probably that doesn't help at all. That probably doesn't help one bit, but hey.
Well, I think you have to ask yourself, like, what's changed? So Richard isn't streaming, so that's one thing. But Pulsechain's working. Like, Pulsechain hasn't had any bugs itself. It's had 100% uptime. It's the most decentralized blockchain ever, from what I understand. You have builders building. You have, you're having excitement from the degens. People can come and do things that they can do on Pulsechain that they just can't do on Ethereum. I mean, I think that's a really big deal. And so that's where you have to ask yourself, like, what's changed? And is the price chart reflective of what's going on right now? I mean, I think that, in my personal opinion, I think things are pretty heavily oversold with where we're at right now. I mean, there's so much cool stuff coming. I think a lot of people are just scared right now because there's some unsurety, which makes a ton of sense. And that's where you gotta make your own bets and make your own decisions. The thing that I keep thinking time and time again is I'm like, where else do you want to go and diversify yourself?
It's hard.
And I don't see any like clear place where I'm like, oh, I'm super confident about, this certain blockchain or these certain tokens. I think we'll have a lot more clarity around Pulsechain and what it might do up to the end of the year. We'll have the third-party protocols launching. We'll see a lot of that stuff. I think we'll get a good vibe and feel for where we're at. And then you can make decisions. We just don't have enough data, in my opinion, right now to make some decisions. But make no mistake about it, right? Like, what would happen to Tesla if Elon all of a sudden went dark and did nothing and said nothing? And
it would suck.
And the SEC came after them. Well, you would have a huge price impact on Tesla stock, in my opinion. And to say that him never coming back doesn't matter, I mean, it does. It matters a lot, in my opinion. I think it matters a whole lot. And it would be super bullish to have Richard come back and like kind of carry some of the weight again. I think that would be a great thing. Now, is he going to? Nobody knows. frankly, can Pulsechain still do some big things without Richard? I think it can. I think it would be better with him. But you can't bet on, you can't bet on some of those things. And I think there's a lot of people on Twitter that are like screaming for Richard to come back. I don't know if he really can. Like with the SEC stuff right now, I think you kind of have to go into hiding, at least the way that he's treating it, where he's doing his best from what we could tell not to get served. And so like, like we've seen people be served on Twitter when they couldn't be served in traditional ways previously. And so Richard, we've seen Richard put on his Twitter profile where he's like, "Oh, I don't read anything." And he even did it in one of his more recent tweets. He's like, "Oh, I haven't read anything on Twitter, but I've heard from other people that this is what was going on with Vitalik getting hacked."
Or I saw that. Yeah,
like he's trying to avoid being served right now. It just doesn't make any sense to stream if that's your current strategy. Now, whether that be a good or a bad strategy is certainly up for debate. But So for me, I mean, I no financial advice. We can't tell you what to do with your bags. For me, I'm really comfortable hanging out some like the stable pools on PHUX, for instance, and being patient with any of my new money that I have to bring in. I'm really comfortable being patient right now and seeing. If you want to go and play some of the casino, you can do that. Do that at your own risk. That's not necessarily our MO, but I'm really comfortable just being a little more conservative right now for crypto as a whole. Yeah, really good commentary today, you guys. I'm not going to be able to get to all of it, but this has been excellent. Oh yeah, this is a great little tip regarding slippage on buying pDai tokens, buy Atropa, then swap for pDai, then swap. Yeah, that's a great take. Or you can go to, in fact, I'll show you guys here. You can go to Piteous and do your swapping there. The liquidity is like, it's reasonably thick if you want to go from like, so here's Teddy Bear. I was curious what that one was like. There's a fair amount of, you could go buy, probably like 1,000.
Yeah, these coins have a fair amount of liquidity now because they've been running so hard.
Right. Like you could go buy, like 1,000, $2,500 on Teddy Bear and be just fine. And I'm swapping from DAI, so.
What about a new meme coin? A brand new one, like something like what was the one I saw? Orion. Orion came out 3 days ago. It's called Orion. It's a brand new meme coin. It's pumping. It's green, but like $50 moves 10% on the price chart because it's so new. You want to get in then. This is not the time, in my opinion, to get in. That's just me though. You want to get in when the contract first comes out and you're like, you go do a little research on it, see if there's a little bit of Twitter about it, get the contract verified. We have that verified pulse now, which is really cool. You can plug the contract in there and they'll tell you like if there's any admin keys, if there's it's great. I've been using it on the meme coins to see that just playing around. And that's really when you want to get in. I mean, if you'd have got in Teddy Bear when it was like 3 days old, that's how you make all the gains. This ain't buying the freaking tops. You're buying the tops. You might make it 20% before it goes down 90%.
Right.
You just gotta be careful, guys. That's all. It's you got to get in before anybody knows about it.
Yeah.
If you
liquidity is like reasonably thick with like pDai, you could go and get, what you're only going to experience 4% slippage on 10 grand to go put into pDai.
That's
right
good.
Now.
That's really good.
That's pretty solid. I wouldn't recommend throwing 10 grand right now. Not financial advice, but man, once again, you just look at the chart, right? Like, I'll give you my thoughts, and I could be totally wrong. So you take this with a grain of salt. But man, like we've done this enough where you freaking you get excited about a chart like this, and you go buy the all-time high right now. And then it gets sold off and you're screwed. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this chart. I'm not a professional charting guy by any stretch of the imagination, but like we're at all-time highs. I think this is due for a little bit. I think it's due for a pullback. That being said, Thursday's tomorrow, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the bots kick in and there's a strong run here. Maybe this is the time to buy before the next run. I don't know. But once again, we bought we've bought enough of these charts early on and gotten screwed just about every single time that I'm pretty comfortable. Yeah,
and we could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe pDai to $1.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Some of these comments are interesting though. I'd love for you guys to come on Friday's show and we could talk about this. But like, let's see. Where was the comment? I thought it was a good one. Hold on. Yeah, I think this is fair. I think relying on RH streams for price appreciation is ridiculous, especially at this point. Like, we don't know when or if he might come back. So I think that's a really fair take. Yeah, Oliver says, I agree. Where is Satoshi at this stage? This is our ecosystem, not RH. After that SEC debacle, RH should peace out and leave it up to us. I don't think that's the worst take. You know, I don't necessarily agree. I think if RH comes back, it'd be incredibly bullish.
It would.
And I want our bags to freaking pump to the moon. So I hope he comes back, but you know, who knows? Yeah. This is a good one. Yeah. What do you think the presidential election, how does it affect crypto as a whole, or if Trump is elected back into office? I mean, I think I'm pretty sure we talked about it a number of times on the show, but historically, there's only been, I think it's 3, maybe 4 if you include Trump. I think there's only been 4 presidents that have gone up for re-election that have not been re-elected, which is pretty nuts. That have not been re-elected. The only time, and 3 out of those 4 times, the economy was not good, and there was a lot of economic uncertainty. It didn't appear like they had a good hold over the country, the president, and they weren't re-elected. The only time where that hasn't occurred is with Trump, where economy was raging, things were looking on really good in that respect, and he was not reelected. And so if you look at that data, I mean, I'm not the president, but I think that's a really strong indicator. I think that you want to make, you know, whether it be a farce or not, I don't think it matters that much. Most people are like goldfish. They can't think for themselves. Their memories are really short. I think you need to do things next year to make the economy look as good as possible in hopes for re-election and in hopes for a Democratic or not a Republican, a Democrat bid for presidency. I think you need that, and I think they're going to manipulate the system in such a way that I think it's going to be good for our crypto bags. I'm excited. I think if you get a Republican, whether it be Trump or somebody else, I think that's really bullish for the markets as well. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see.
Although I tend to think, like, if, say, for example, Biden was reelected, I tend to think that the markets would pump really hard next year. But if he didn't get reelected and the economy went to crap, but then say Trump, and I'm not one way or the other, guys, but Trump were to get in the office, then the markets would pump probably after the election. You know, going into 25 or even 26, that would be the effect. I feel like it would be if Biden's trying to save the economy and he's trying to stay in office and he gets voted back in office, he will pump up the markets, do what he's going to do in 24. But if it doesn't happen and a Republican gets in, I feel like Republican getting in would be extremely bullish for stocks and crypto. And guys, I'm not one way or the other, like I said, but it's just, that's the truth. It would be into 25 or 26. That's just how I see it in my brain. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's bullish for crypto. The presidential election is bullish, no matter what, for risk on assets usually.
If Biden gets reelected, I'll be sitting. I'll tell you the truth. I'm gonna be sitting on my computer, and if the odds are looking like he's gonna be reelected, I'm gonna be there ready to press the sell button. I think that's incredibly bearish.
If he gets in, yes, that is incredibly bearish.
That'll be a great indicator to get out, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I have financial advice. Take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, there's financial and political advice. We don't do any of that stuff, guys.
No. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, agreed. I mean, you keep seeing things like validators increasing. I mean, the blockchain's only been out for 4 months. I'm telling you guys, I think that Richard Man, the MFer with the SEC case, it's so frustrating. I think that if it weren't for that, I still don't think we'd have Pulsechain. I really don't.
Yeah,
I don't think
me either.
any of this stuff would be out. And frankly, I'd be really annoyed about it. We'd be talking about it on stream, and I'd be expressing how annoyed I would be. But also,
I'd be okay with that position.
It would. I mean, I would be okay viewing where we're at now, but I would be very.
Right, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
Right.
But I mean, I don't think we'd see Pulsechain still. I think Richard wouldn't launch it until freaking November, December, or January. And frankly, I think that would have been way better for price action.
Pulsechain would have came out completed too, with single-sided staking, with limit orders. I think it would have.
They had freaking 2 years to do Pulsechain.
I think he launched the chain without doing much work to Pulsechain because he had to. I think that was the last item on the checklist to complete. And I feel like if he would have waited, I just feel like it would have launched. The whole thing would have been complete. If he would have had his way, if Richard would have had his way, the whole thing would have been complete.
Yeah.
But that's speculation. You could be right too. Who knows?
Yeah. It's interesting to consider.
No one will ever know, It's like,
and Richard will never say. Yeah.
No, of course not.
Yeah. How much is being built in 4 Pulse? I mean, there's a lot. I'm telling you guys, there's going to be some really cool things coming out here. And once there's attention here, then more builders will come, more degens will come, more big money will come. I think we're going to be fine. I'm telling you, I really do. And we bet heavy. We bet very heavy. I think we're going to be fine. Now we've got bags, so take everything we say with a grain of salt. We're very interested in our own bags being pumped. But I mean, once again, I think we're in the right place at the right time. We are. We were a little bit early. We were a little bit early, is all.
We were just we were too early. Who said that yesterday? Paul Sachs.
That was a great comment.
We were too early. That's all we were.
Yeah.
That is it, man.
Yeah, and there is. I mean, so I just don't think there's. Yeah, I mean, the date in November. I think this is going to be a big nothing burger. I really do.
He hasn't been served.
Yeah, I think I think they're not going to have served Richard up to that point for the meeting in November, and I think they're going to be trying to find more creative ways to try to serve Richard. I think that's all that it's going to be, and frankly, I think it's going to be a big nothing burger. That being said, it wouldn't hurt to keep some money on the sidelines in the event that there was something and it posed an opportunity. Yeah. Lots of good commentary. I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to get to everybody today, but this has been awesome, you guys. Seriously. Yeah, I think
after an election.
I think this is a good way to get wrecked this time around. The problem is we're in the first time ever crypto is in an environment where the money printers are not just spinning off more cash. This time it is absolutely different in my opinion. And I think not giving credit to that is going to leave a lot of people burned this time around. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. It'd be great to have a couple of years of run after the next election.
I mean, if 26 and 27 is the top, I mean, what? Great for everybody.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be. It's not a bad thing. It's just good to think these things through because the market has a way of tricking people and putting you in a trap. You got to be careful with this stuff. And so. I'm going to continue following the people I'm following, continue doing the research I'm doing with the macro guys who I listen to. And I think 24, man, I think we'll get a lot of information in 2024. I feel like we'll have a good sense of where we're going. And nothing's ever 100% guaranteed one way or the other. And so I'll be sitting down and assessing my portfolio. And I know we talked about this before. For example, if I'm I feel like it's an 80% chance of being a left translated cycle. when the time comes and maybe BTC is at like 70,000, well, then I'm going to take 80% of my portfolio off the table. If that's the odds I'm giving it, maybe you give it 90, 95, and you just leave a little bit in there for a moon bag. I don't know. It depends on you. And that can always change. Like Sami gives it a 70-30. He's like a 70% chance that 30, that it won't. He's going to be taking 70 off, but he says that can change as the year goes on and next year comes in. And so you just need to sit down and you need to do a little bit of risk assessment, knowing this information. Because the one thing I learned about putting money into crypto these last couple of years is don't bet against the Fed. Don't bet against the macroeconomics. The macro will always win. And so we just need to keep that in line with our investment thesis, and we'll be just fine. We'll do really well. And I don't need to catch the bottom, and I don't need to sell the top. I don't. It's just, I don't need that. And so it'd be nice to catch the 10,000X, whatever. It'd be great, right? And I'll leave a piece of my bag in, whatever I weigh out my portfolio to be at that time. Well, we're not there yet, but it's healthy to have these conversations. Because that keeps us sharp and prepared for different outcomes. You want to be prepared for different outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Oliver. Looking at the pDai chart makes me bullish on Pulse. If pDai can get that much gain, imagine what Pulse can do during a bull market.
I agree.
And we should be using all this as freaking marketing. I'm telling you guys, I think it's great. Like, bring on the degen stuff. Like, that's what pulls attention over. People want to buy stupid stuff like SHIB and Doge and and Pepe. They love that. And pDai. Like, I think pDai is one of those things. Make no mistake about it. This is a meme coin through and through, in my opinion. But it's exciting. Like, and people love this stuff, and we should market that to death to bring people over to Pulsechain. And some of them are going to attach to some of the other cool assets that are here as well. So we're here for it. I think it's a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, cool, guys. Is there anything else you want to cover today, Corey?
Not much. We'll have B-Roots on soon. We're in communications, just trying to get the time scheduled. Friday, guys, come on for our open mic show. We love open mic show Friday. That's always a blast. And that's it. Just keep your heads up, guys. This is the bear market. Nothing too far from the course that we, every bear market goes through. Of course, we have our own little situation in ours, but I firmly believe in, it's not financial advice, but what I believe that we are still in the right place at the right time, and we're going to see some amazing fireworks. That's just my belief. And that's just, let's keep going on, guys. And we're truly honored and blessed for all you guys here. Like, you guys make the show. And so we appreciate you showing up, giving commentary, and engaging, because this, we're building here in the bear market this show for the bull market, and it's going to be a blast. And when the bull market comes, man, you're not going to want to go through like almost any of the comments. It's going to be like, I remember when Pulsechain first launched, we had like, our viewers were like 5x.
That was
wild. Insane.
Yeah.
I remember Randy Hilarski reached 500 viewers on his channel. I was like, damn, bro. Just because Pulse launched, and now we're like back down to like 40, some days 20 viewers. It's because it's the build of bear market. People have lost interest, but right now building in the bear so we can be selling in the bull is key.
Yep. Make sure to join us tomorrow too. Dylan will be on, and
I
think we'll be able to get him to show how one could use fiat in conjunction with fame and some of the things that you can do there with those. Very exciting things coming. So with that, guys, we appreciate you. We will see you tomorrow.
Peace.